All right, man. So let's well, first of all, I appreciate you guys coming on with us today. We've been doing this. I told Coach Aiden earlier, we had some of the guys from 16, Thomas Lash and you remember him, John Michael Lash and Tony Anderson and Ced Cooper. You guys, Brandon, you remember Ced and O'Shea and all those guys.
Yeah.
Ced Cooper and then who else was on, Rob? Let's see. It was
Noah.
yeah, Noah Hawley, quarterback. And we did that earlier today. But what I was going to say was having you guys, and especially you guys, because all five of you guys are like strong character guys, not just excellent players, but the character guys that we're all. Coach Aiden has been busting his ass recruiting. We're trying to get those kind of guys back. We need, and obviously we need athletes, but we need guys like you guys, and every single one of you guys made your mark here. And even John Michael making his mark as a coach also, it just is really pretty cool for me to touch base with you guys again, because you guys bring back a lot of good memories, a lot of really good memories. Hey, listen, I want to ask you guys something, and we're going to get around to you, Jason, so I want you to speak. But Gerg, start it off, man. What are some things you could tell somebody watching this, a young kid that's looking at, the VAQ Chat, and what's something you could tell them about something that happened to you? And I mean, obviously you being a transfer guy from Desert, but what would you tell them?
I mean, man, other than just the fact that for me, Santa Barbara was probably the best, like it was hands down the best decision I made football wise. Like being there, playing the game there, like I tell everybody that could have been my last season ever playing, and I would have been completely satisfied because it was just that fun. The guys on that team are still guys that I stay in touch with and try to follow up with, because it was so fun. It brought football. It brought the love of football back, and that was just not just football, but it was like Santa Barbara, being in that area, and just the guys on that team. It was just everything was right, and that was a credit to you guys as a coaching staff and the area of Santa Barbara, and then obviously everybody on the team as well.
How about you, James?
Well, Jacob stole my answer, so let me think of something else.
Hey, echo.
Oh, that's going to be Jason's excuse for not talking here. Oh, everybody said my thing. I'm going to make Jason
I
talk.
loved it, honestly, because before I came there, I played at a different D2 out in Ohio, and that sucked. And I did play football after Santa Barbara at Humboldt, and I loved it. But I think I still always look back to the memories from Santa Barbara. It's a beautiful place to play football. I think one of the best stadiums in the country to play football. You're literally 10 feet from the beach. You get to work out outside during the off season. The weather's always perfect. And I thought, too, the schooling part of it was very challenging. And it gave you a lot of options. Say if football didn't work out, you still had an opportunity outside of football, because the school was so highly academically viewed.
Yeah, Humboldt's a great stadium, man. I've been there before.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it doesn't hold a candle to that stadium right there, fellas. Look at that, baby.
That was
Woo!
Another
That could be right about where is that? That could be Jason Sharsh right there, man. It's like I can't remember the year. I know I'm standing right there, but yeah, it's awesome. And like you said, Humboldt, that's a beautiful place, man. That's too bad they shut down their program.
I know. I was one of the last years to play.
Yeah, that stadium sits right there. All right, O'Shea, go ahead, man. Before Jason, I'm calling on Jason next.
You got to repeat the question. What was the question?
Well, just give me your thought, about what you would say to someone coming in. Your experience, what you went through, and some advice you might give them.
Okay. Really, just don't take anything for granted, and because you are really in one of the best locations in California and the nation, and you can really just be lackadaisical. Wanting to go to the beach or take a day for granted by just not going to class. But when you're at the JUCO level, that's the place where you really got to focus in and grind. And that's where you're going to make the biggest changes in your whole college career, because everyone's trying to go to the 4-year, and that's where you're going to make it happen, in the weight room, in the classroom. If you don't have the grades, I mean, we had several talented people on our teams, but they didn't go anywhere because they didn't have the grades. And so that's probably one of the hardest things about going to Santa Barbara, is it's such a beautiful place. You could easily get lost in the surroundings. But just like James and Gurgle, it was one of the best decisions that I made because before Coach Aiden called me, I was working at the Oakland airport. I was just had left freaking Southern Oregon and didn't know where I was going to go. And I was grateful for that call and wouldn't have changed anything. I mean, I made some of the best friendships that I had at Santa Barbara. I mean, I got Brandon and Cardo being my groomsmen. So I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. All right, Sharsh brothers. Jason, you kick it off, and then we'll go to John Michael. No, Jason, you're up, man. What was the question? Can you repeat the question again? And just tell me how you felt about your situation here and how it all transpired and different things. Oh, look at Gurgle. Gurgle went to the freaking background. He's back now. That was a good shot. Go ahead, Jason.
Oh yeah, it's probably the best experience coming out of high school. You know, you believe you're a D1 player, you should go D1. But going to JUCO is a different experience. Like, it doesn't compare to anything. Like, talking to all my other JUCO friends from UH, D1, they're like, nothing compares. No one knows the grind, what it takes to go from JUCO to D1, or just going to JUCO in general. Just being underlooked, you know, or whoever doesn't have the right grades. Just JUCO, you can still make things happen. Come from wherever you're from. Just doing what the coaches tell you. Coach Moran, Coach Aiden, they really change your life over there at Santa Barbara.
Even when you freaking rolled your ankle up in that freaking one of the last games, man, that out of that whole season, that one play, even losing Noah and even losing Graham Lindman, you know, you rolling your ankle, and who was it? Was Manny? Somebody rolled you up from behind, right?
Manny, yeah.
Yeah, Manny. He got blown up tackle, right? I'll never forget. I saw it. You could see it coming, and it was just like, oh shit, you know. And it's one of those ones where, unfortunately, you know, when it happened, you know it wasn't good. You know, you don't know.
Get up, walk it off.
John Michael, how about you? You had a little different experience.
My first year, I got hurt like right before preseason, and I didn't know how bad it was. And with that injury, I could barely walk, and I was still just trying to make it practice and stuff, and ended up just being on the sideline. Ended up being on the sidelines and not being able to physically play. It was tough on me, and then that off season, I found out my back was broken that whole year, and the doctors told me I could play if I want to, but if I get hit, I could be paralyzed for the rest of my life. And I was like, okay, like, it was my last year playing football. And I remember I went into the office to tell, I think Aiden and Omli were there. And I'll never forget, I always tell everybody, Aiden told me, he kind of put it in he doesn't want to come around and see me when I'm older and I'm playing with my kids in a wheelchair and it's not worth it. And I probably shouldn't play anymore. So it's not just about football there. It's about your life and everything after that. And then, so then on, I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do now? I'm not going to play. And then Coach Rob, you told me to come coach receivers, and that kicked off my coaching career. Started coaching in college before I ever got to coach in high school. So just forever thankful for you guys for being there. Even coming to Santa Barbara, I didn't talk to you guys before filling out the application or anything. I just saw a picture of the field and the beach, and I was like, I want to go there. And
there it is, right there.
Great advertising.
The program
That's
was
right.
a lot better than I expected. It was definitely run like a D1, yeah, like a D1 program.
All right, B. Edwards, it's on you, man.
Yeah, I mean, like they said, definitely one of the nicest places to play in the nation, as far as like scenery and all that. For me, like, my story was I came in, you know, as like a 180-pound kid with just raw arm talent, and didn't know a whole lot about as far like football, as far as reading defenses and stuff. And I know Coach Marop, you had me in the office about an hour a day, Monday through Friday, before practices and stuff, and I was able to develop my skills. And then Coach Aiden got me up to 205 by the time I was done with my second year. And then with all that said, I was able to move on to D2 college, and one of the best ones. So I'm definitely forever thankful for everything that happened at Santa Barbara. And
I watched that.
anything.
I watched that last game. Streamed it, I think, or something. I could watch it. It looked cold.
Oh
That
yeah.
last playoff game. That
Mhm.
thing, how cold was it? It looked
Like-
cold.
It was like 18 degrees with 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Ooh.
That's why I'm a Cali guy. That's right. Hey, right? Hey, to stay out in the islands, right? Where it's warm.
Yeah, both of our my senior season, we played them again in the playoffs, and it was just as cold.
Who was it?
And
Who was that against?
Minnesota Mankato.
Okay,
Oh, shit.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and the wind, like, we went into double overtime, and it came down to a field goal, and the ball literally went through the uprights and then came back, and we lost. That's how strong the winds were.
It went through the uprights and then came back.
It went to the field goal post and then came back, and it was ridiculous.
That's too much wind right there. You got to go for it, man. Shot something. Holy smokes! All right, Coach Aiden.
Oh yeah. So I got stories, man, because some of the best stories were from 14 and 15. One we posted up when Gurgle was back of the past when we were talking about he who shall not be named was saying, "You're not faster than me. You're not faster than me." And Gurgle smoked this kid 3 times in a row.
He who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
Trying to fight everybody. And Gurgle gives him the look back. He's running, give him the look back. Come on, fool, what's up? And just killing him 3 times in a row. Just
What position was this player?
Corner.
He was a cornerback.
He was going for the league, he told us.
You there in 15?
Tay?
I said, his name.
Florida kid.
No, you
Florida
guys
kid.
don't know. He didn't play on our team. He quit.
Yeah.
Quit.
Gurgle made him,
Hey, Gurgle changed his life
Yeah.
right there.
no,
Made
he
him
was-
realize some things.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, but just having Gurgle around me, because Gurgle came in. I've told Gurgle the story many times. We're watching this film. Me and Coach, he shall be named.
Yeah.
Coach Omley, we were watching the film, and we're like, he's pretty good, but I don't know. And then Coach Moraps walks in, he's like, yeah, he's good. So start recruiting him now, okay? Like, okay, Coach. And then Gurgle comes in, just tears it up, 4-4 guy, and just from day one, just you already knew he was starting. You know, he's one of those guys when he steps in the field, just a difference maker. You know, athletically, but just had that swagger to him. Not what kids today say swag, but like the swagger he had the way he played, and just the mental parts. I mean, Gurgle was awesome, and that was my second year coaching, and just having a guy like Gurgle around and just hearing him, and that's a true player coach right there. You know, and then having O'Shea on the same team it was awesome for me at least. You know, O'Shea coming on, and there's many a times. We froze frame a couple times when me and O'Shea doing the exact same thing on the sideline. I mean, O'Shea was like, you know, just another version of me, man, out there. It was awesome having O'Shea come down, and the stories we have just from the receiving room, and how as much as Jason talks, you know, it's hilarious. You know, but you know, Jason and John, I mean, just the difference they were when they came in 15. I mean, Jason was and we had a conversation too. You know, he was like 9th in the depth chart, and you know, he was, you know, contemplating, should I play football? Am I good enough? And that's one thing I always talk to guys about. I'm like, here's a kid right here, because I always show your highlight tape. When we show recruits, here's what you should strive to be. You know, like O'Shea, I show yours as well, and I show one other person's. But, you know, I show guys like, this is what we want from our receivers. These are guys that are before you that have done it. We want you to, you know, emulate that and, you know, take the game to the next level. But I was like, this guy thought about quitting, fellas. And that's one thing I always bring up is this guy thought about quitting. And I just laugh about that because I didn't know about that till after the season you guys told me. And I'm like, what? I was like, we knew you were special from the beginning. It was just you had some time to learn, you know, and that's a big thing, you know, when guys come in is there's so many guys at day one, and you guys know that. There's like 40 receivers wherever you go day one. And,
I was going to fight for cutting in line.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's how it's got to be, though. But that's the mentality you have to have, and just, you know, you pushing your brother wouldn't have been where he is today without you kind of showing him that, you know. But just seeing how you guys developed and just, Coach, what do I do? You know, I mean, for me, it was a pleasure. I mean, all of you guys on the screen was a pleasure coaching, because it was never, you know, questioning or, well, I heard this or I did that. It's like, Coach, what do you want me to do? You know, how do I get better? What is it? And just being all in. You know, there's tons of ways to do things, but you guys were just, like, when I think about that as a coach, it was awesome to have guys like you, especially early on in my career, coaching personally, and having guys like you is like, hey, yeah, there's still players like this. You know, and that's the kind of guys that when we're recruiting, we look for. You know, and that's hard to find. You know, it's hard to recruit that, because kids will say yes, and Gurgle will know this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You'll hear that as a coach, and Benedict's maybe you know that. But when you're talking to these kids from other spots, you know, it's just they put on the facade of like, oh, yes, sir. And to me, I always try to, hey, you don't have to yes, sir me. I want to know who you really are. you know, and just guys like you, just you guys were real. You know, how you guys, were when we talked and recruiting, that's how you guys were when you guys came. And Benedict's, I didn't even know what his voice sounded like, so that's cool to hear him talk today.
I was the kind of guy to put my head down, just go to work, especially coming in. I wanted to prove myself.
It's called blue collar, man.
Yeah.
Blue collar.
What kind of player I am.
And that's what's funny. I mean, you have Brandon, Benedicts, and Sharsh in the same call, and it's three of the most quietest human beings, but dudes that just worked, you know, and like they don't talk, and then you think that, are they soft or what? No, they got out in the field. No, Benedicts is going to kill you. You know, Brandon is just going to just freaking throw the ball 95 yards, and Sharsh is going to make him get down. You know, and that's what was funny. You know, they had Gurgle and O'Shea, the guys that would talk, actually, you know. But, you know, it was an awesome mix, and just seeing you guys and having you guys come on, like Coach Marab said, we really appreciate it. Because to me, it's awesome just thinking about the times and stuff that comes back. Because my memory, I swear to God, I'm like a 90-year-old man. But when I talk to you guys, all this stuff comes back, and it's just awesome to hear you guys and see you guys. And I'm starting to get the Coach Marab, he's like, man, it's all blended together now. And I was like, when I'm a young coach, I'm like, what do you mean it's blended together? And as you get older, it really does. And the more you coach, and it's just,
what are you saying, man? Hey, what are you saying? Come on now. No,
but I mean, it's just awesome. And we really do appreciate you guys, man. And just, you know, anything else you guys can add. I mean, because you guys have been here, you know, obviously the temptation, but at the same time is how did you guys make it? What did you guys do that you guys saw other guys not do? Like you said, like, you know, a lot of guys failed. What's something that you guys would say that they did or you guys didn't do, whichever way you want to put it? And anyone can start with that.
I guess just seeing the bigger picture of what you want and deciding that early, because it's so easy to get lost in Santa Barbara. So many distractions, but you have to remember why you came there and what your end goal is, right? And I think if you can always hone in on that, it will get you to where you're going. If you start forgetting that, that's where you start falling off, and then all of a sudden you find yourself not where you thought you would be in a year or two.
Yeah. How'd you guys balance that? I mean, I know Sharsh and like all them. I mean, when I was young then still, so they'd tell me like the stuff they would do, and I'm like, guys, don't tell me this stuff. Well, that sounds cool. But it's just like, but hearing that you guys were able, and because a lot of families like, well, you know, I'm afraid he's gonna go out and this and that, but you guys were able to enjoy yourself in Santa Barbara. I mean, part of why people come here, we know that is they want to have a good time, you know. But how did you guys balance that? How did you guys that being young guys, and obviously there's a ton of distractions, like you say, but you guys made it, and a lot of guys have made it.
It's kind of like a switch.
Yeah.
Like when it's time to work,
It's
you
time to
work.
work.
Yeah. You have your fun when you come to practice, so it's time to work. That's all it
You
is.
got to be responsible too. You got to grow up.
Exactly. I would say it dwindles down to a lot of your character and who you actually surround yourself with, because, I mean, when you go there, you don't know anyone. You might know a few people, but it's hard to pick and choose who you're going to hang out with because you want to be on the same wavelength as people. That's why we always hung out with each other, because we were getting to work. We knew, like, if we're going to go have fun this night, but like we're going to be smart about it, and then the next day when we're supposed to be in the weight room or whatever, be at practice, we're going to be there and we're going to put in 100%. And
The
that's
buddy system, that's huge. You know, hanging out
Yeah.
with your teammates will keep you accountable. If you're hanging out with just normal students from SBCC or UCSB, I feel like you might miss workouts or practice. You know, they won't keep you on point. But if you're hanging out with other teammates, especially guys who want it just as bad as you do, I think you'll find that balance a little more easier.
Yeah.
Me, Brandon, O'Shea, Jason, you guys slept over like every Friday night before the game, right?
yeah.
Dominoes, carb
Because
load.
we went, like, we lived right up the street from them, so we would always come down, and
We're always together watching film.
Yep.
you gotta surround yourself by the people that have the same end goal as you. And when you have that, we all wanted to go to the next level. So when it came to waking up at 5:30 to go to the weight room, we all ended up getting bikes. We were just riding right down the hill, and we knew that we had to be there because that's the biggest thing with JUCO is it's a stepping stone to go to the next level. And the biggest thing with going to a JUCO, people think that they're the best. Everyone thinks that, oh, I'm the best guy. But when you have that mentality, you're not going to get better. And it comes down to when you're at JUCO, you got to work on your weaknesses. If you're already good at something, you're good at it. But if you work on your weaknesses, then that's going to help you get the exposure that you need to be able to work harder at the next level. And that's what you instilled that, because we were all good at something, but you would get up in our face and be like, well, you're going to get pressed right here. Work on your press. Like, you can't get off press. You can't read coverages. Go look at film. And that was the biggest thing. So being able to just take the constructive criticism and get into the books and learn what you're bad at and getting better at it.
Yeah. I appreciate that. What about Brandon, man? I mean, you're great at everything, so.
Nah.
How about this? I mean, how did you guys, and Gurgle, you can answer this too, is because I mean Gurgle had friends that were already up here. So I mean that's one thing, is he was a guy that had a lot of people he already knew up here. I remember Gurgle and his buddy Taylor let me test drive their cars. So when I was gonna get my new car, I had my Cuddy then, if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah.
Test drive their cars. Yeah. And no, but I mean, just how did you guys kind of choose your friends? How did you guys kind of, I mean, that's one thing guys have trouble with because they're young and they kind of, oh, this guy's good, so I mean, he's doing this. I mean, how did you guys kind of pick your friends and cut people off? And I mean, O'Shea, you had some guys in the receiving room that obviously.
I could attest to it. I have a story. They could talk first though, but I'll say something afterwards.
For me, it was, you know, and like Coach, you just said, I came up with friends, and I'm actually in the same household right now with those same people. But it was always the mindset of just remembering, like, I'm in junior college and I'm not where I want to be. And to get where I want to be, it's going to take the right mindset. And so it's just, you can get complacent in Santa Barbara with all the beauty around you. And if you get complacent, you get stuck there. And I know people that are still there that are stuck there. And if you lose that mentality, you will get stuck there. So you just got to remember that you are at the bottom and you have not made it yet.
Yeah. What's this great story, O'Shea?
It's not a great story. It's just about picking who you want to be around. And because I did go down there, and the only person that I had communication with was you. So you obviously want to get me in connection with other receivers, and not saying that they were bad people outside of the football field or whatever, but you want to know the character of someone, and you might not mesh with that person. They're cool people today, and like I've talked to them recently, but we just we weren't on the same level on things, and they had their little clique, and they weren't accepting of other people in their clique. So once you're at practice though, and you start making some relationships, then it's easy. You go meet new friends, meet new people, and eventually move in with them. And that's what happened. So it's sometimes scary for some people, like an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, to move down there and do whatever. But after a few weeks, you'll ease into it and be good to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, going down there, I went down there with some of my best friends and stuff, but my friend group, my circle grew 10 times when I joined the team, and just being around the players and stuff, and everyone wanted the same thing. That really helped a lot. I mean, living with O'Shea, being around the Sharshes, all of them and stuff, just really allowed me to really focus on what was important and like what the goal is right now, instead of getting kind of caught up in all the extra stuff that you can be caught up in a place like Santa Barbara.
Yeah, there's a ton of stories O'Shea would come and tell me about Brandon. Brandon, man, can't cook. He can't do this. And I'm like, you gotta show this man. So I remember we did one of the cooking videos over there, or we just went there, whatever it was. I remember we cooked at your house, your guys' place one time on Oceano.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's for a video or if we were just doing it because you guys wanted to see it done or whatever it was. And I remember Brandon was just like shocked, like, how do you do these things? And it was hilarious. And it's just funny because when guys come in, you know, you forget that some guys don't know like certain basic things, and like some things O'Shea didn't know, some things Brandon, but we all have these deficiencies like you think you would know in life and you don't. And that's one thing, you know, seeing that, you know, firsthand and talking with you guys and hearing like just different backgrounds is, you know, you guys all have different deficiencies, and really hearing that and seeing that, you know, and you guys really helped each other out. And that's one thing that I remember, just the stories and just seeing you guys actually doing it together. It was awesome.
I remember sitting in the quarterback meetings going, guys, tell me this. When you guys get away from me, when you get away from these meetings, does a freaking Edwards ever talk? I mean, does he open up and just become all of a sudden this talkative guy? Oh yeah, coach, he's just, you know, he just doesn't talk in meetings. And I said, I'd just like to have a little webcam on somebody's head, just watching Brandon at the house or something. And I just, because I said, this guy's got to open. He can't be this quiet all the time. There's no way. Hey, Sharsh, What number was it? 17? Weren't you number 17?
Yeah, my freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a non-Sharshy number. I saw the move to number 3,
Yeah.
right? Your sophomore year. That was a good move, man. And we still, to this day, I still show highlights of like the desert game, College of the Desert game, and in 16, and just the way you ran your routes, and that's the biggest thing to me. That's the biggest thing. The difference between you guys and guys that we have now. The whole yizzer, yizzer. In their minds, that's respectful. No, it's not. What it's really doing is this right here. It's
Texas
basically,
FU.
yeah. Hey, it's like palms up, guys. Hey, palms up, palms up. That means shut up. Well, hey, you guys weren't like that. The thing I remember most about you guys was the reliability, and every single one of you guys. I mean, O'Shea, you could never get him out of his calm zone. He played the game at the same even keeled level. You could never get him, and he ran routes like that. He caught balls like that. He was just a smooth gamer. Benedict's never heard him talk. I just, I would hear, Omley talking about him and watching him playing games. And then Gergs, I mean, it was not hard for me to think we need to get that guy because of the speed, the speed. And then once you got here, I got to know you and I got to respect you because of the reliability. And in the Sharshes, that's a special name at City College, as all you guys are, because of the reliability. It was like Aiden would tell you, run a route at this step, run a route at this depth, run a route this way. And it was like we didn't have to keep watching that. It was done. You know what I mean? And that year in 16, with Eli and you, Sharsh, and then Coop and all the guys and the 2 quarterbacks. I mean, that was just a culmination of your career and your coachability and your humble nature, and Brandon, where you came from. I mean, didn't you come down because of Perry Pipkin? Wasn't that, how did you get to City College? Wasn't it?
About it.
Perry, yeah. And you came out to spring ball and I just watched you throw and you were a skinny pencil, but it was like, you had that loose arm. You had that loose arm that pitchers usually have, and I just saw it, but it wasn't that necessarily. It wasn't how far you could throw it. It was your attitude, and every single one of you guys in this chat are the kind of guys that we need more of in this program, because you get it. One of the biggest things I always tell guys, hey guys, don't get caught up in, I'm going to go there and I'm coming to JUCO to get out. Well, if you do that, man, you're going to trip on something. You're going to get caught up in something that's not good. If you focus, like all you guys are successful guys because you got out and you did the right thing. Now, whether it had to do partly to do with what you learned at City College, I hope, but the fact of the matter is, if you get caught up in what's out the window, you're going to trip on something that happens in front of you, whether it's partying, whether it's the beach, or whether it's, just making bad decisions. You got to worry about every single day. And too many guys these days are caught up in, I got to go here. I've got 2 guys and they just are just misguided. I asked them, a couple of months ago before we broke, I said, what do you guys see? What's your goal? Oh, I want to go to SEC. I want to go to University of Missouri. And the other guy said, oh, I want to go to SC. Shit. They can't even go to class. They can't even come to practice regularly, but that is so easy to say. And every single one of you guys know that. You know that it's much easier to say, and Jason, you playing at a place like UH. I mean, look what you did. Look how you achieved the goal. You went there, you earned a scholarship, and look how you ended up. And that's a real success story. But you never took it. And I think O'Shea said, you don't want to take it for granted, man. If you take things for granted, or if you think just because I'm going to JUCO, I'm going to get to USC, or I'm going to instead of worrying about, make sure I get my degree, make sure I get my classes taken care of, because I could be the best guy in the world. If I don't have my academics, I'm out. I'm not going to have a chance. And all you guys know, different guys. Gergs, you mentioned it. There were guys that didn't have the same motivation, the same dedication, the same commitment level, and ultimately the same coachability, because every single one of you guys, again, were coachable. Were you confident? Yeah. Did you know you were good? Yeah. But it never got to the point where you thought you knew everything. You thought you all had all the answers. And there's too many of those kind of guys in this, at this level. but you guys are special guys. And I know Coach Aiden would echo the same sentiment that every single name that I'm seeing here, including Rob Aiden, have a special place in my heart. And I mean that, man. You guys made a difference here. And it's really, really important to me because when it's all said and done, it's about the guys that were in your program. And, you talk about, special people. Every single one of you guys got a special place. So I appreciate you guys coming on. I really do. And I hope that you guys please stay in touch with us and, keep track of what we're doing. Gergs, you're getting out of coaching. I wish you didn't, because I bet you're a hell of a coach. Benedict's, you're right in the middle of it. And John Michael, you're coaching. And Jason, I hope you get your shot, because they don't realize what a committed athlete they could get, and whether you do or not, you've had a great career, and whatever happens beyond that. O'Shea and Brandon, we dealt a lot together with Coach Aiden and the offense and spent a lot of time with you guys. And I really appreciate all your dedication and the effort you made, man, because it was special times. That's why you guys are here today. You're special. And that place right behind me has got some great memories of you guys, great memories. And I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. And, it's special. You guys are special. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
And
thank you too for everything, man.
This is awesome. You guys are awesome. And I mean it. And it's real special. Your words come out of experience and maturity, man. And hopefully some of these knuckleheads that we're going to recruit will watch this and take it, for what it's worth. And these guys are, you've been there, you've done that, and you've come out on the other end with a degree, and that's awesome. Nice.
So maybe, depending on how the season goes, if they ever start it, we should try to have like an alumni weekend.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
Great idea.
And this is just sparking that, and we're going to have a season. They're going to come back now, whether it's going to be a shortened season, when it's going to start, I don't know. And, but I think O'Shea, I'm going to take that ball and run with it. This is good. Every time I talk to you guys from the past, man, it brings up great memories, and having an alumni weekend is a fantastic idea. And I'm going to take it to my AD right now, because
110%. I'll be there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For you to come to Hawaii, man.
What? Hey, now you guys got to guarantee me you're going to fly out. You're going to come out with your mom. Bring your mom.
You brought it.
Bring your mom. Bring the poke and the pineapple. And but that's a great idea, O'Shea. I'm gonna take it and run with it. And we got to make sure that the talkative one from the south or the northwest, that he comes down. So we really I want to see him in action if he's talking.
I have Amazon Prime, so I'll just ship you down here. Right?
Saw that one coming. Coach Aiden's gonna help himself.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. Hey, listen, thank you. I appreciate it. And let's stay in touch, all right?
Of course. Thanks again to you
all
two
right.
coaches as
All
well.
right, guys. Good job.
Coach.
Thank you.